Well, good morning, men. It is May 18th. So we turn to the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, for God's daily dose of wisdom. Abelino, if you've got an update on your grandson, really would love to hear it. Been praying for him and for the family. So um, love you, and we're going to continue to lift that young man up. So Proverbs, chapter 18. As I was reading through Proverbs, verse 3 jumped off the page, and it reads like this. When a wicked man comes, contempt also comes, and with dishonor comes scorn. Okay, that seems straightforward. You know, when I first read that, my first impression was, okay, so when a wicked man comes, contempt also comes. So if a wicked man would walk into a room, people would know that he's wicked, and they would feel contempt towards this individual. And then the second part, with dishonor comes scorn. So yeah, once again, the wicked man enters the room. People feel contempt towards him because he's a wicked man, and they're scornful, and so he receives their scorn. That's what I thought when I first read this. Well, I was completely wrong, because that word comes. When a wicked man comes, contempt also comes, and with dishonor comes scorn. So that word comes is pivotal to this particular proverb, and it means to enter, okay, but it also means to lead or to bring with. Well, that changes the proverb completely. When a wicked man comes, contempt also comes. He brings that contempt with him. He himself is a contemptuous individual. And with dishonor comes scorn. He's leading that scorn around, kind of like a dog on a leash. With dishonor comes scorn. He's a scornful, contemptuous individual. It's not that the contempt and the scorn are directed towards him. No, he brings it with him. Wow. Okay. That changes the direction of that particular verse altogether. And we read in Isaiah chapter 57, verse 20, but the wicked are like the tossing sea, for it cannot be quiet, and its waters toss up refuse and mud. That contemptuousness, that scorn that he brings with him, it's restless, it's always stirring up trouble. And that's what happens when you're continually rejecting God. When you got your hand to heaven and you're saying, nope, stay out of my business. You know, I'm going to live my life my way. And you're continually rejecting God. Analogy to this might be like somebody in that particular situation, the evil person who has rejected God so completely and placed their hand up against heaven that it's like an individual who's fallen into a deep well with no way to escape. All you can hear is your own voice. You're in your own little world, and your reality is nothing but the walls that surround you, that trap you in that life of sin. But lest we get too high on our high horse here, we need to recognize that we were in that same situation ourselves. In fact, we were in that well when God threw us a lifeline in Jesus. All of mankind is in that well, and God has thrown mankind a lifeline in Jesus. We were that wicked person. We were bringing contempt and scorn with us wherever we went. Now, that lifeline is the only thing that preventing us from death and living a life that's going to result in eternal death. Jesus is the only way that we can escape from that well. And so we need to focus on that particular picture as a picture of the way that the world is. The people who have rejected God are becoming more and more contentious, more scornful of the things of God. It's gotten really bad, and it's going to get worse because the people who are continually rejecting God are ramping up the enemy is ramping up the violence and the scorn and the contemptuousness towards all things godly. But there is hope, because when we recognize that we ourselves were stuck in that well and God rescued us out of that well, we can have a compassionate view of the world and of those people, and we can introduce them to that lifeline. I'm going to read something out of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 in regards to our position when we were in that well. For consider your calling, brethren, that there were not many wise according to the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble, but God has chosen the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. And God has chosen the weak things of the world to shame the things which are strong. And the base things of the world and the despised God has chosen, the things that are not, so that he may nullify the things that are, so that no man may boast before God. We were once in that well. We weren't mighty, we weren't rich, we weren't anything. And God has chosen us to take the message of the good news to this darkened world that is continually placing their hand up against heaven and saying, leave me alone. And God says, no, I will pursue you with an everlasting love, just as he pursued us. I pray that we would go out and we'd make a difference in someone's life today. Because they need to hear that good news, that God is for them and not against them. That God loves them. He does not hate them. That God is on their side, and he desires to have a relationship with them, just as he does with us. My brothers and sisters, I love you. Pray that you go out and you make a difference in someone's life today. God bless you.